what a year it's been, 2025. He saw the alliances and some heavyweights coming together under the umbrella of the ADC, and he's seeing someone like you who's been a former minister and who is a former governorship aspirant in your state coming to now speaking for the ruling, for the major opposition party now. I'm saying major opposition party now because suddenly the ADC seems to be a party to look out for. The PDP is falling apart. The Labour Party seems to not to find its feet, but the ADC seems to have had all of the major players from all of the opposition parties come under one umbrella. But in all of this, we've seen Dele Momodu also, interestingly, from Benin City, declared his, and you saw, interestingly, perhaps the first national chairman of the APC, Chief John Odege Yegon, receiving Dele Momodu in the ADC, into the ADC. Interesting times indeed. But how do you summarize the year 2025? I'm looking forward to 2026.
Well, thank you very much. 2025 was a very good year for us. It was a foundational year. As it were. When we started in July last year, in July of 2025, not many people thought we could go far. The ruling party itself dismissed us. They said, oh, these are just aggrieved people, and the coalition will collapse even before it had the chance to take off. And look at all the big men in their ranks. They're going to start fighting over who gets what. But 7 months after, in 2026, here we are, getting stronger than before. Look, I'm very confident that if you gather political scientists to study the trajectory of political party development, they will probably tell you that ADC has been one of the fastest growth in Nigerian political history. And the reason is not far-fetched. You mentioned all those different people joining our party and all. The reason is very clear. It is clear to everyone today there is only one option. The possibility of Nigerians having to continue with what the current APC government is doing under President Bola Tinubu is too scary to contemplate. In terms of what has happened to the lives and livelihood of Nigerians, in terms of what has happened to the image and reputation of this country, in terms of what has happened to the status of Nigeria as a leader of the black race the world over. Every Nigerian today who knows what Nigeria should be, what Nigeria used to represent in the past, and where we are today, we don't want what is going on to continue. So all these people you see joining our parties, these big wigs and political heavyweights, are also telling themselves that what is at stake is bigger than my individual ambition.
And this is not all about grabbing power for us in our studio.
We're not trying to grab power. We're just trying to rescue Nigeria, because the way Nigeria is going, under this Tinubu and others, right? If we don't act and save Nigeria, there will be no Nigeria again. Our politicians, man. And it's sort of like makes somebody like me wonder sometimes, that these politicians who put so much effort into getting into power, like taking power, they will do a lot. They will do propaganda, they will do lies, they will do bribery, they will do violence, they will do all things, including killing people. Then they get the power, only for them to become so clueless, because they will be more interested in themselves, the interest of the people that they are using, all these sweet talks, right? I don't know how that kind of like work easier. And the reason is this, why it works for them is because there is no consequences for betraying the people whenever they manage to win their trust. Several of them who have had the opportunity in the past, they've given the people the middle fingers, right? They've left people up so much. They've left people worse off than they were before they got into that power. But yeah, it's the opposition. So this is why he said they stand the chance of dethroning Tinubu. There is more. Yeah.
For us,
Our president should be here. Ministers should be doing those kind of jobs. 3 years after, we don't even have ambassador. They said they submitted some names sometimes ago, last year, that the National Assembly has cleared. Up to now, they have not posted a single one of them. And let me tell you, if they post them today, before they get their letter of credence, maybe end of 2026, before they resume formally and are able to function as ambassador, especially in first-class missions in the world, because the receiving countries will still have to vet them and agree that they are receiving them. Then before they issue them agreement and before they begin to function. All that has not happened. And this is why our president have to outsource diplomatic function and pay $9 million to a lobbyist, a lobbying firm, to do public relations for us. When Nigerians should be in the room talking for Nigeria, you have to hire people to
How do you encapsulate or summarize your own assessment of the Tinubu-led government over the last 2 years or more?
There's too much incompetence in the government. I don't know why.
In the government or
yes,
in the presidency?
In the government, no. I mean, the president is competent. I'm not saying he's not competent. Individually, if you see him, you know he knows what. So, but there's too much incompetence.
How can a competent leader lead an incompetent government? Is that not contradictory?
No. You have the impression that he's overwhelmed.
Really?
You have the impression that...
But this is the man who says, I asked for it, I fought for it, I got it, blame me for whatever has happened. The president says he's up to the task.
We are blaming him.
Well, how can the president be overwhelmed when he says, this is the job that I asked for and I'm the one, the buck stopped on my table, on my desk. That's what the president has said over and over again. How can he be overwhelmed?
This president is very competent in one thing. He's a very competent politician. And everything you see him say reflects that. He's a very competent politician, no doubt about that.
What about being a competent leader?
I'm not sure of. Because we can only judge by the evidence. A leader is primarily an empathetic person. It's someone that wakes up in the morning and think about the people. How are they feeling? When you think that there are policies you need to pursue, you ask yourself, these policies that I'm pursuing, how is it going to affect the life of an ordinary citizen under me? When someone dies in your country, you feel personally responsible that you have failed that individual because your primary job is to protect that person. But we don't see that.
But how do you describe
We don't see that.
Is our cup half full or half empty?
I'm not even sure we have a cup. That's the point I'm making.
The government says, look, that we have had a disastrous run. And
they've agreed that they've had a disaster.
They don't know in the past. Yeah. And they are coming on board to fix things, albeit a very difficult task of the revolutionary and reformist policy tendencies that they brought on board. And this is going to cause some immediate pains, which is going to be relieved after a time when these policies get into place. And you can see some very fantastic human beings like Wale Edun, the Minister of the Economy, you see, very erudite members of the cabinet that have a very strong profile, not only locally, but internationally, who are at the helm of affairs, people with integrity. But in all of this, the preaching that we've gotten from this government is that things might be tough, but it will get better. Have we been impatient with this government?
They have 4 years. They have 4 years. The Constitution of Nigeria provides for a 4-year tenure. There's nothing that guarantees that you will get another 4 years. What the Constitution provides for is a 4-year tenure. So whatever you are not able to do in 4 years, then you have not done. And that is why we have institutions to carry on wherever you stop. But what we are saying is that in 3 years out of 4, we have not seen anything that this administration has done that will give us confidence that the country is moving in the right direction.
I asked you that question, very much with a lot. With a lot of reasons why I asked the question, whether or not our cup is half empty or half full. And I'm very certain that you have embarked on house building projects.
Yeah.
And you know the pains, and those who understand these know that when you are building the foundation, It takes a long. I mean, in fact, if you're spending and giving the builder money to construct the foundation, you'll be worried whether they're stealing your money, because it does look like nothing is showing up. But when you start building the blocks, it goes up on you get to the lintel. And when you get to the lintel, the work slows down again because you start building the concrete. And now the question I'm asking is that, is it a facade that we're seeing, or the real foundation that this government said he wants to build? Because over the years, things have been messed up, and things are, without wanting to use a dirty language, that we're in a mess.
Sure. Maybe some of that $9 million should be paid to you, because you seem to be doing a good job.
No, because I speak to both parties. I speak to opposition and I speak to ruling party. Because we, as Nigerians, we need to, where things are good, we need to say where they are bad.
But you tell me one thing that they have done that is good. If President Bola Tinubu will be campaigning to Nigerians today, tell me one thing that they will say, oh, Nigerians, I have done this. This is a president that said, if after 2 years I don't give you electricity, don't vote for me.
So you think that this government is an absolute failure?
He said it. The president said it.
I'm saying that generally speaking, you think that the Tinubu government has been an absolute failure?
Nigerians have agreed that this government has failed. It is a consensus. And we in the opposition know that the responsibility that we have is to convince Nigerians that we can do better, that we have alternative ideas.
Right.
But the question of whether this administration has failed, that's a foregone conclusion.
That this government has failed?
Oh, it's a foregone conclusion.
Now,
our president should be...
Don't let any more show. That's enough. So are Nigerians saying that Tinubu has failed? Yes, they are. But there are also Nigerians who are telling you that he's done so well. The Ronukus, for example, who are more concerned about what the opposition is doing. You know, they're like, even if Tinubu has failed, right? It is not in the place of the Atiku, El-Rufai, and others to say they want to now rescue Nigeria. Or there is a Ronuku that is trending this afternoon, who I believe stated his own point, like he kind of like shared his own point, but he's a Tinubu supporter. So that's what makes it a little bit cringy, right? It's weird, right? Because you can't be a Tinubu supporter in this day and time, except that we know, you know, like you cannot shame the shameless in this regard. So they are very good in gaslighting people, like, you know, all of that, trying to whip up a sentiment, you know, sentiments that eventually make Tinubu not that bad. They will agree with you that, well, this boy is not that bad, or they will find somebody else to blame, right? But this level of rant of a Ronuku, I want to share it with you. He's a young guy.
After individual efforts to destroy Nigeria, crumble our economy, and put the life of Nigerians into unpalatable situations, now you are coming together to put collective efforts to ensure you destroy Nigeria finally. Imagine a coalition with Rauf Aregbesola, a man whose tenure as governor was characterized by non-payment of salaries, owing civil servants up to 36 months, with a lot of abandoned projects. Now you are coming to say you want to save the same Nigerians? During his time as Minister for Interior, we had a lot of prison break, and even to get international passport, it will cost you several months with a lot of lobby. But now with the new Minister for Interior, I got my international passport in just 2 weeks with no extra charges, with no lobby. And now you are coming to form a coalition against the government that has brought this into place. You should be ashamed of yourself. Or a Dino Milaye, who after many years of being a senator, all he can show to the people of Kogi West as his achievement is the exotic cars in his car garage. No wonder the people of Kogi West rejected him in the last election. Someone who could not even deliver his own local government for himself. And you are now coming out to form a coalition. Imagine a Nasiru El-Rufai and a Rotimi Amechi in a coalition. People who were not fit to be in President Tinubu's cabinet because of their terrible track record. A Nasiru El-Rufai who, when he was governor, the people of Kaduna could not sleep with their 2 eyes closed because of insecurity. Today is banditry, tomorrow kidnapping. People were losing their lives and properties when you were governor of that state, and you are now coming back to form a coalition. Or a Rotimi Amechi who, when he was minister, ran Nigeria into debt, borrowing borrowing with no project to show forth. Your wife receives 4 billion naira on behalf of the people of the Niger Delta, yet there's no contribution to better the lives of these people. Rotimi Amechi should deal with the corruption in his house before saying he wants to save Nigerians. Rotimi Amechi and Nasiru El-Rufai could not make it to President Tinubu's cabinet because they lack integrity and competence. Addressing the division in the coalition, now the articulates are saying Atiku has to be president while Obi settles for vice. The obedience are also saying Obi has to be president while whoever settles for vice. But with this kind of coalition, I can tell you categorically that whoever goes first, Atiku for president or Obi for president, you are only trying to build Nigeria on a faulty foundation. Atiku that after 8 years of being vice president, his boss Obasanjo said that if he should approve Atiku's presidency, even God will not forgive him. That Atiku is such a thief. In fact, like this, the money Atiku stole from Nigerian government is enough to feed the entire population of Nigeria, the entire Nigerian population for the next 20 years. Imagine say we just wake up for money, they just serve everybody for the whole of Nigeria. Everybody, over 200 million population, they first serve all of us bread and egg. Afternoon time reach, they serve us pounded yam or bread and beans as you like it. And night reach, they just give us noodles, say something light for the night. And we continue to do them like that every day for the next 20 years. That is how much Atiku has stolen from Nigeria. Or is it Obi, a man that is very clueless, very deceitful, and has no conviction? One moment he's saying this, the next moment he's contradicting what he just said. No wonder he said even his own children, when he promises them, they will say, Daddy, write it down. Because we know tomorrow you will change mouth. A man that after being governor for 8 years in Anambra, his biggest achievement, his biggest bragging right is that he left money in Anambra coffers, a state that needed many financial intervention. You chose to keep the money in the bank, starving the people. You were getting interest off those monies in the bank, and you left the people stranded. Even with the coalition, Obi is still playing games. He has not resigned from Labour Party, yet he's forming coalition. Should the coalition not favor him, he will bounce back to Labour Party. Should the coalition favor him, he will cut off Labour Party. Can you imagine? Now, let's even imagine that Obi becomes president with the support of this coalition. Let's imagine that. Now, you want to become president with the support of an Atiku that has spent millions of dollars trying to become Nigerian president. Now, you are wanting him to spend more to make you president. Should you imagine? Where will he get all his monies back from? Is it not from the same government? How do you expect to survive leadership with that kind of support? Or Rotimi Amechi and Nasiru El-Rufai that could not make it to President Tinubu's cabinet because of their incompetence and their lack of credibility. Now they are giving you support. And should you imagine their support, how do you compensate them? Is it not from the same Nigerian government? You would have to settle them from the Nigerian pocket. Oh, you want to crumble this economy that this current administration is struggling to revive? You want to send us back because of your desperation to become president? You can never succeed as a president if you surround yourself with thieves, incompetent people, and mediocres. Nigerians, shine your eyes. Read.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
So those are the people called the data boys, the Ronukus, right? They are very, very duplicitous and cunning. Somebody where they calculate, where they mention Atiku, a thief, El-Rufai, this, and then the black Amechi. They are the same people with Batawale, somebody who is indicted, not just by government, is indicted even by terrorists themselves as a terrorist sponsor. He's in Tinubu's government. Abacha Bagman, the guy that, Bagudu, the guy that, stole, should I say stolen or no? The guy that was in charge of the looted Abacha money, so the Abacha loot, billions of dollars looted by Abacha from Nigeria. So he happened to be one of those who get to know where the money was. So he got a deal where whenever he decided to release any of the Abacha loot, they will give him percentage, I think 10% or 20% or something. So, I mean, Tinubu himself, the druggie, right? I said I would stop saying that though, for a reason. I can't, because it's true. So when the Ronuku start pointing fingers like this, right, just pay attention very well, okay? You realize that the majority of the other fingers are pointing at, pointing at him, and they don't care. They have no shame in that regard. So if you are not on their side, you are coming to ruin Nigeria. These are the people who defended Bokwari for 8 years. And right now, they are doing everything to make that Bokwari's 8 years like it never really existed. Okay? except when they feel like the northern Nigeria is coming for Tinubu, then they will start talking about the loot, the crimes, and how Buhari destroyed Nigeria. Very, very duplicitous rogues. Okay, let's leave that. On the other hand, though, okay, we're talking. Shimon was talking about half cup. Is our cup half full or half empty? And Bolaji Abdulahi said, "You actually have no cup. If you come to think of it, before you can even start talking of whether it is half full or half empty, the situation you have right now in that contraption is worse than what some people can imagine. But the